Sarah checks her bank statement on a Tuesday morning and freezes. $217 just vanished from her account. It's not fraud. It's not a mistake. It's something far more common and far more insidious: subscription charges she forgot she'd signed up for. A meditation app she used once. A streaming service she meant to cancel. A software trial that quietly converted. She's not alone. Americans waste over $14 billion every year on subscriptions they've forgotten about or can't figure out how to cancel. This is the story of how that happens, and why it's designed that way. 20 years ago, you bought things once. Software came in a box. Music came on a disc. Gym memberships were the exception, not the rule. Then something changed. Companies discovered that predictable, recurring revenue was worth far more than one-time sales. Wall Street rewarded subscription models with higher valuations. A customer who pays $5 a month is worth more to investors than one who pays $60 once, even though the math seems identical. The incentive structure shifted. Now, nearly every company wants to convert you from a buyer into a subscriber. A subscription trap isn't always illegal. Most operate in a gray zone between persuasion and deception. It starts with an attractive offer, a free trial, a massive discount, early access to something desirable. The sign-up process is frictionless. One click. Autofill does the rest. Your card details are captured. The fine print mentions auto-renewal, but it's buried in paragraph 7 of the terms you didn't read. The trial ends quietly. No reminder email. No confirmation required. The charge just appears. And when you try to cancel, that's when the real trap closes. Companies understand human memory better than we do. Research shows we overestimate our ability to remember future tasks by nearly 40%. When you sign up for a 7-day trial, you genuinely believe you'll remember to cancel on day 6. But companies know you probably won't. They time trials to end on inconvenient days, after weekends, during holidays. They count on life getting in the way. One study found that 67% of free trial users intended to cancel but forgot. That's not accident. That's design. User experience designers have a term for these tricks: dark patterns. They're interface choices that benefit the company at your expense. The subscribe button is bright, large, and prominent. The cancel option is hidden in settings, under account, then billing, then a tiny gray link labeled manage subscription. Some sites make you call a phone number during business hours. Others require you to chat with a retention specialist trained to talk you out of canceling. Gaming companies and news sites are particularly aggressive. One streaming platform required 11 clicks to cancel. The subscribe button took one. Let's go inside the retention call. When you finally reach a human to cancel, they're following a script designed by behavioral psychologists. First, they ask why you're canceling, extracting information that helps them counter your objection. Budget tight? They offer a discount. Not using it enough? Here's a free month to rediscover the value. The script has multiple fallback positions. They're measured not on customer satisfaction but on saves, the percentage of cancellation attempts they successfully prevent. Some agents face penalties if their save rate drops below 80%. Your desire to cancel becomes their performance challenge. Subscription traps aren't new. The modern template was perfected by the gym industry in the 1980s. Gym owners discovered a counterintuitive truth: their business model depended on members not showing up. If everyone who paid for a membership actually used it simultaneously, gyms would be impossibly overcrowded. They began optimizing for what they called passive members, people who paid monthly but rarely attended. Long-term contracts with early cancellation penalties became standard. Signing up was easy. Canceling required certified letters or in-person visits during narrow windows. The model worked brilliantly. It's now everywhere. Adobe made the pivotal move in 2013 when it shifted Photoshop from a purchasable product to a monthly subscription called Creative Cloud. Designers were outraged. They'd paid once and owned the software forever. Now they'd rent it indefinitely or lose access to their own work files. But Adobe's revenue soared. Within 3 years, their stock price tripled. Every software company took notice. Microsoft moved Office to a subscription. Intuit did the same with QuickBooks. Even car companies started charging monthly fees for features already built into vehicles you'd purchased. The ownership economy was being quietly replaced by an access economy. Most subscription traps hover around $9.99 per month. That's not coincidence. It's the result of extensive price testing. $10 sits just below the threshold where most people bother to cancel. It's annoying when you discover it, but not quite annoying enough to spend 15 minutes navigating a cancellation maze. Companies have discovered that price point maximizes what they call passive revenue, money extracted from inattention rather than genuine value delivery. Stack 3 or 4 of these together, and suddenly $40 a month evaporates. Over a year, that's nearly $500 you didn't consciously choose to spend. You might assume companies are legally required to remind you before charging your card. In most states, they're not. Some European countries mandate advance warning. The UK requires notice before free trials convert to paid subscriptions. But in America, the rules are fragmented and weak. A company can charge your card without any warning as long as you agreed to auto-renewal somewhere in the sign-up process. Consumer advocates have pushed for federal notification requirements for years. The subscription industry lobbies hard against them. They know reminders hurt revenue. Silence is profitable. Marcus tried to cancel his antivirus subscription for 3 weeks. The website's cancel button was broken. The chat function led to dead ends. The phone line had 2-hour wait times, then disconnected. He disputed the charge with his credit card company, only to have the software lock his computer and threaten legal action for non-payment. This is the extreme end of subscription traps, bordering on extortion. The Federal Trade Commission has started cracking down, fining companies that make cancellation unreasonably difficult. But enforcement is spotty. For every company penalized, dozens operate in the same gray zone, betting you'll give up before they get caught. The average American has 4 active subscriptions they've completely forgotten about. These are zombie subscriptions, dead to your awareness but alive in your bank account. They survive because of psychological quirks and deliberate design. Companies use vague billing descriptors that don't match the service name. A charge appears as LRMN Services LLC instead of Premium Recipe App. You don't recognize it, assume it's legitimate, and scroll past. Multiply this across millions of customers, and you've got billions in charges that would be cancelled instantly if people simply knew what they were paying for. Obscurity is a feature, not a bug. Most subscription traps aren't technically illegal. They're just ethically questionable. Courts have ruled that if you agreed to terms, even terms you didn't read, you're bound by them. The fact that those terms were deliberately designed to be unreadable doesn't matter. 20,000 words of legal text in 8-point font still constitutes disclosure. Some practices have been banned. The FTC's Restore Online Shoppers Confidence Act prohibits certain deceptive practices in online transactions. But it has loopholes. State laws vary wildly. California offers more protection than Mississippi. Companies incorporate in friendly jurisdictions and exploit the weakest regulations. Change is starting to happen. Apple now requires apps to offer in-app cancellation, a direct challenge to the retention call model. The European Union passed regulations requiring companies to make canceling as easy as subscribing. Several U.S. states are considering similar laws. Consumer awareness is rising. Personal finance apps now feature subscription trackers that alert you to recurring charges. Browser extensions block auto-renewal checkboxes. The Federal Trade Commission proposed a click-to-cancel rule in 2023 that would require cancellations to be as simple as sign-ups. The subscription industry is fighting it, but the momentum is shifting. You don't have to wait for regulations. Start with a subscription audit. Check your bank and credit card statements for the last 3 months. List every recurring charge. For each one, ask if you're actively using it and if it's worth the cost. Use virtual card numbers for free trials so they can't charge you when the trial ends. Set phone reminders 2 days before trials expire. Take screenshots of cancellation confirmations. Companies sometimes accidentally reactivate canceled accounts. Consider using privacy-focused payment services that let you create temporary card numbers or set spending limits. And remember, if signing up took 1 click, but canceling requires a phone call, you're dealing with a trap. Subscriptions themselves aren't evil. Many provide genuine, ongoing value. The trap isn't the business model, it's the intentional friction designed to separate you from money you wouldn't consciously choose to spend. The real cost isn't the $9.99. It's the erosion of agency, the feeling that your financial life is happening to you rather than being directed by you. Companies have spent billions optimizing systems to make subscribing effortless and canceling exhausting. The imbalance is the point. Recognizing that imbalance is the first step to reclaiming control. You have more power than you think. You just have to use it.